What's up, everybody? Today's lesson that we're going to go through is called Snow Cone Hut. Okay, the idea behind this lesson is that you're going to build a snow cone hut spreadsheet as if you were starting your own little snow cone hut. Okay, I kind of get tired of the old boring tutorials on how to do things, so this one hopefully is kind of exciting and potentially something that you could use when starting your own business, even if it's not a snow cone shack. But anyway, pay close attention. I'm going to go through how to create formulas, how to lay out a spreadsheet and make it look nice and sweet, add some pictures and different things. So I hope you enjoy this. Please follow along in this lesson. If you get stuck at any point, just pause it, rewind it, however you have to do it. Okay? The first thing you're going to want to do is log into your Google account and open a new tab. It's always easiest to get to where we want to go, which is Google Drive, by opening a new tab, and it brings up this screen. In this corner you'll see this little box here. Click it and go to Google Drive. At Google Drive we're going to click New, and for our snow cone hut we're going to use Google Sheets. So click Google Sheets. Alright, just a quick tour over Google Sheets. Just a reminder, it does save automatically. There's no save button. Across the top here you're going to put the name of your new snow cone hut. So let's just go ahead and do it. Call it Snow Cone Hut. I won't go over all of these, but there are different tool settings in here. And this bar right here, you're going to find the most common things that you'll use, such as print, undo, redo, some formatting the text and the numbers settings. Here's how you change your font, the font size, bold, italicize, text color. This would allow you to fill the color of the cells, and this would allow you to add borders to your cells. Here's the alignment settings and inserting links. Okay, we'll go over some of these for this tutorial, but this part down here, these are called cells. Okay, you can add text to them, you can add numbers to them. So this right here would be cell A1. So this is column A, column B, C, and so on. Row 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I tell you to go to B7, you have to kind of play Battleship and find B7 right there, B7. Towards the bottom, we're going to be working out of this one single sheet in this spreadsheet. Okay, you could add more. And you can rename it and do stuff with that and duplicate it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you're going to want to do is, for our snow cone hut, is give it a name. Okay, this is something that's going to be printed off and put in a binder or something somewhere for your use for your snow cone hut. So let's go ahead and give it the title. I'm going to put my first name and Snow Cone Hut. So you put your first name, Snow Cone Hut. So my first name is Miguel. Miguel's Snow Cone Hut. Okay, that is, when I typed it, you noticed that it looks like it goes off into this cell, but actually all of the type is going inside of this 1A1 cell. Okay, you just need to know that for the future, but anyway, go down to cell A2 and we're going to put something like, this is the price for this one snow cone. So the idea behind this is that we need to figure out how much does it cost to make one single snow cone, and how much am I going to make off of that one single snow cone. Right here, let's put selling price. This is how much selling price per snow cone. This is how much we're going to sell our snow cones here for. We'll adjust all of this here in a minute. Let's just put in our information first. Okay, for your snow cone, you have to think, okay, what are going to be all of the supplies that I will need to make that snow cone? So I'm going to make a kind of a heading for this. I'm going to say supplies. Okay, I'm going to move over to cell B4, and I'm going to I don't know if you can see that, B4. I'm going to write price per supply. So right here I'm going to list all of my supplies for my snow cone, and then I'm going to list how much it costs for that supply. In cell C4, let's go ahead and put how much is in that supply. So we're going to type something like quantity of supply. Go to this next cell, and don't worry, it looks like you're typing over the top of it. You are not. So we're going to adjust the width of these later. Let's just go ahead and right here put measurement. See, it looks like we cut off that, but it's actually just hidden under here. But anyway, we will come and adjust these widths and stuff in a little bit. The next thing is amount used per snow cone. That's important information. Cell F4, the cost. And let's leave this one blank, but we're going to put something here in a little bit. Okay. Next thing you're going to want to do is list all the supplies for your snow cone. So for my snow cone and your snow cone, you definitely need syrup, and well, you'll need a cup. So cups. How about a spoon? You give them a spoon, and napkins. Maybe you give them a napkin, and definitely ice. That's important. I'm sure there are some other direct costs for this snow cone. We're not calculating in like the machine or the stand or any of that. This is just for this one single snow cone. And so that looks like a good list. Okay, the price. What I want you to do here is I'm just going to plug in this information. Okay, so what I'm going to do is have you type in all of this information that I just plugged in. Go ahead and pause your video and plug in all the information in the appropriate cells. Make sure there's no mistakes, kind of go through it, and I'll give you a sec to do that. Now that you've plugged in all the information, first of all, it doesn't look very good, very friendly to the eye. So you're going to want to kind of spice this up just a little bit. So when you print it off, it looks nice and orderly. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is we're going to actually add another column to the left of this one. So what you do is you right click on it, or you hold down Control and click on it or whatever, and you're going to insert one to the left. Since you're on the column, it knows that you're talking about columns. So I'm going to insert one to the left, and I'm just going to put this here, and you'll see why later. And what I want you to do is just kind of pull it over and squish it over just about right there. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to highlight from B. So when I say highlight, I mean hold down your mouse. So you're going to click in the cell. Not some students would grab that dot and pull this over. You're not going to do that. That's going to mess it up. Okay, you're going to actually inside of the cell click and drag over across until you reach H1. So right there. Okay, now that you have that selected, we're going to actually merge all of these cells across. So all of these will become one single cell. So the way you do that is right here. You can either click merge there or merge horizontally. Okay, either one will work. So I'm actually just going to go to merge horizontally. And now these are all merged. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to go all the way to H1 right there and merge those cells. Okay. With these two cells now, we're going to center these bits of text in the center of this cell. And the way you do that is over here in this aligning area. So what you're going to want to do is on the horizontal alignment, you're going to want to click center. And we're going to make these rows a little bit thicker. So another thing you should do is actually center it in the cell. So it's going to, this means, do you want it on the top of the cell, the middle, or the bottom? We're going to, right now it's set to be on the bottom. We're going to change it to be the middle on both of these. Okay. So now let's actually take these two cells, these two rows, and click and pull it down a little bit. Pull it down a little, this one a little bit. Oh, we forgot to center this one. I apologize. I'm going to center this one real quick. So come over here. Okay. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, this thing, the selling price per snow cone, is kind of randomly placed in here. I actually want to move and put it over here. Well, actually, what I want to do is merge all of these right here. So go ahead and highlight from cell B3 to cell G3. All of these, and let's merge these. So I'm going to come over here to merge horizontally. But this time I want all of this text to be to the right of the cell. So I'm going to come over here, and not the left, not the center, but to the right of the cell. So click that. So it looks like this. Okay, for our snow cone, let's give it a price of $2. Okay, next thing we want to do is adjust the widths of these columns. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start right here on right in between B and C. If you hover over it, it'll turn into an arrow. You click and you drag it over. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to go past that S. You just want to move it about right there. Give it a little space. This one, maybe space it out just a hair. Go over here to between D and E and space it out. Give it a nice little gap. Measurements, we can probably pull that one in a little bit. Amount per used per snow cone, that one's got to go over quite a bit. The cost, let's go ahead and just leave that one just like that. That's fine. And this one, let's leave that one the same. Okay, it's starting to come to life, as you can see. Some of the things that it might be missing. Oh, this needs to be pulled over. Do you see how it's overlapping here? So I'm going to come over here between G and H and pull this over all the way to past where it says total cost for supplies right there. Now that looks better. Everything is in its own cell. It's not overlapping in any other cells. Kind of look around. If they are, go ahead and fix them. Okay, what we want to do now is style this up a little bit. So what I'm going to have you do is select from here, A1, all the way down, and you can drag down or over or just jump right to it. As long as you hold that mouse down, it's going to stay with you. Just don't accidentally let it go. If you do, just click somewhere right here and then reselect it. So A1 all the way to I-15 right there. I-15. Okay, let your mouse go. And let's give this all a color. So I'll let you decide on this, but you're going to come up here to fill color and pick a color that you like. Maybe think like a snow cone. That's kind of, ooh, maybe a little too bright. You can't really tell the color until you unselect it. So yeah, just kind of do your best and then pick a color. Before you deselect this, you're going to want to do a couple of things. One, all of the stuff that's inside of this Snow Cone Hut spreadsheet right here, you see these lines, they will actually show up. So we're going to hide them to be the same exact color as your background color. So let me show you what I mean. So right now I have this color selected. You'll need to remember that it's a light yellow 1. Okay? So what I'm going to do is come over here to the borders and change all of my borders to have that exact same color. So go ahead and click right here. The first thing we need to do is change the color of that border to be the exact same color as the one that you chose a minute ago. So I chose light yellow 1. And now it says, okay, how do you want to select the border? Well, I want to select everything about the border, all edges of it, not just bottom or middle, all parts of the border. So go ahead and click this button, and you'll notice now the border is the exact same color as the background. Okay, with it still selected, we want to do one more change. Let's change the font. Let's increase it. Actually, let's not increase it. Let's leave it same size font, but let's change the font look. So what you want to do is go ahead and select one that looks good to you. There are some that are already kind of pre-selected, but if you don't like any of those, there's this More Fonts button that you can go and find one real quickly. Don't spend a lot of time, but go ahead and pause it and find one that you like. When you do find one you do like, you simply check it. It becomes part of your font list, and go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that you have your font selected and you're ready to go for the next part of this. So let's go ahead and deselect it by clicking somewhere right here. So now you can see the actual color of it. We're going to highlight this area from here to here. So from B1, or sorry, not B1, B3, all the way to H9, select this area, and let's give it a different color so it stands out a little bit. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go over here to Fill Color and find a different color. Okay. This time I'm going to leave my lines in it. I kind of like the look that it matches this color and it's easily to see where everything is located. So keep the lines inside of it the same color. Okay. Now go ahead and select from cell G10 to H14 and give it the exact same color that you just did. So it looks like this. Okay, next step. I'm going to take this column and I'm going to squeeze it in a little bit. So I'm going to grab from here to there. I'm trying to match the width right here. The I and the A column should be about the same. It's pretty close. And that gap right here, so I'm trying to get a uniform look right through here. So I might have to pull this one down just a hair so it kind of has a nice flow all the way around it. Okay, next part. So all we're doing right now is doing the styling of this. We have yet to put any kind of formulas or anything in this, and I wanted to do that last, so we're styling it up just so you know before we do anything. Okay, these two fonts, let's change them from black to about the same color as this body area that you have. So highlight these two cells, click the font to change the color. If it's not dark enough, pick something that's darker. You want to be able to read that. Same with this. You want to be able to read this, whatever you have going on. Make sure it's all legible. Okay. With these two still selected, let's change the font size of this to be just a little bit bigger. So let's go to 14. Next step. Let's add in 2 small snow cones onto this thing. So I'm going to go to Insert, Image. Here's some options. You can either upload, but we are just going to go to Google and search for something. So I'm going to click Search and search for snow cone. please select this one right here. If this is not there for some reason, scroll down a little bit. If you can't find one, you really do want to find one that yeah, will look good. Hopefully this is still there when you go to do this video. If it's not, find another one that works. And by the way, you can change the type of pictures that it's pulling up to clip art, or a line drawing. You really want a clip art or a line drawing. Yep, none of those are showing it. Anyway, find one that looks good if you can't find anything. Press select. Okay, it's really large. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the corner of it and shrink it down. Okay, shrink it down even more. Where we're going to put this is one right here. Okay, let's go ahead and insert another one of these. So I'm going to go insert, image, select that one again. I'm on snow cones. And insert another snow cone and shrink it down, grab the corner of it, and move it right about here, shrink it down a little bit. Okay, there we go. Should look something like that. Okay, we're getting close to the end. There are a few changes we need to make. Let's start over here and work our way this way. So, supplies looks good. Everything looks nice. Price per supply. If for some reason yours doesn't have the decimals, like 6.95, what you're going to want to do is highlight all of this and come over here, and you're going to increase or decrease the decimals. So if it was decreased, it would look like that. So if it's increased, it would look like that. So I want it to have 2 decimal places, 6.95. Make sure those are the correct numbers. Okay. Also, I want this to look like a dollar sign, because these are actually dollars price. So simply come right here and click this dollar sign. And it should actually just put the decimals for you. So anyway, click the dollar sign. All right, this column, I don't want any decimals, so select all of this. If for any reason, if you have any decimals, get rid of them by highlighting it and saying decrease the decimals. So if you have to get rid of them, it should look something like that. Okay, this column looks good. Oops. Now this column, remember this is the amount of the measurement you're going to use. So you're going to use 2 ounces. Get rid of any decimal places that you don't need. So if you have 2 decimal places, go ahead and decrease them. Yeah, maybe have 1 decimal place, because this 0.5 it's in the 10th place. So you're going to want to keep that there. So 1 decimal place on this column. Okay, next column. Or actually, let's jump up to this one. This needs a dollar sign. So you come over here and give it the dollar sign. You click it. It should automatically put the decimals. If it doesn't, go ahead and add 2 decimal places. Okay, the first formula that we're going to do is right here in this cell, on cell G5, right there. Okay, you're going to want to add in a calculation. We could use a calculator to do this, but a spreadsheet is simply a calculator. Each one of these lets you do a calculation, and every calculation you do, they're called formulas, you must put the equal sign first. So let me just show you on a calculator what I'm talking about. So for example, if I wanted to say 5 times 5 equals, it'd be 25, right? Over here, this is not what you're going to put. This is just an example. If I put equals, because you always start with the equal sign when doing a formula, 5 times 5, it even tells you what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to press enter now. There's your answer, 25. So it does the calculation for you. I'm going to delete this by clicking on it and pressing delete. Okay, the formula that we're going to want to do is a little bit more complicated. What we're going to have to do is take this number, this price per supply, and divide it by the quantity of supply, okay, and times it by the amount used for that snow cone. So this is going to give us an exact amount of syrup that we use. Because we're not using a whole bottle of syrup, we're only using 2 ounces per snow cone. And so this is going to tell us exactly how much it costs to pump 2 ounces of syrup into somebody's snow cone, into their one snow cone. So I'm going to do my formula. Equals, and it's just like math, you want to do the parentheses first, so I'm going to do, and here's another point I need to make. You can type in cell C5, because this is C5 right here. I could easily just type C5, but I found that it's much easier to actually just click on it. So I'm going to backspace that. So with equals and that parentheses, go ahead and you can just simply click on the cell. This divided by, so find the divided by sign on your keyboard, divided by this cell, D5, close parenthesis, divide those, and then multiply my 2 ounces, because I need 2, and press enter, so F5. So there is your formula, C5 divided by D5 times F5, and press enter. Okay, it costs 11 cents per snow cone of syrup. Okay, you can see how these numbers are very useful. All right, let's go ahead and do this one right now. So again, equals, and we're going to do cups now. Price per cup. Oops, you're right, I forgot my parentheses. So you can do equals, parenthesis, price per supply of those cups, divided by how many are in that quantity. There's 1,000 cups in that bag. Close parenthesis, times 1 per snow cone. You only use 1 cup per snow cone. So that's F6. So C6 divided by D6 times F6, and press enter. Okay, you may have realized I'm basically doing the same thing here, as here, as here, as here, but the only thing that's changing is where it's coming from, but it's doing the same formula over and over. When you have a situation like that, you can do something that's really cool in spreadsheets, and you'll notice there's this little dot right here, okay? I'm not sure the exact name of it, but it's kind of a little pull down dot thingy. So the idea, if you hover over it, you'll get this little crosshair looking thing, this black crosshair. You click and drag down to where you want to go. It only goes down or sideways, but in this case I want this to go down and let go. And you'll notice it automatically recognized, oh, I see what's going on here. They have a formula. And so it did the formula over and over. The only thing it changed, I'll click through it. So look up here with your eyes. Look right there. I'm going to click through this. All it's changing is the different cells that it's coming from. Okay. The different row. It's not changing the column. All right. Anyway, all of these are correct. That is perfect. You should have gotten these numbers. You must have the formulas for this assignment. If you just put in these numbers, you'll be marked down, because in the end you're going to show your formulas to your teacher. Okay, with those in place, we need to add some information in this area over here. Okay, the cost per snow cone. You may have realized, yes, all of this added up is my cost per snow cone. So I could figure it out in my head, or I could use a calculator, but remember, this is basically a calculator, so I'm going to do a formula. Okay, the formula to do this is equals, and I want to add all of these up. Okay, the formulas have names attached to them. To add something up, you use the word sum. Okay, and it tells you what it is. It's the sum of a series of numbers or cells. And I'm going to do the parenthesis. So it's the sum of all of these cells. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click your mouse and drag down to the end of that cell and press enter. So it's going to sum up all of these. 60 cents. Okay. Profit per snow cone. Well, this is what I'm charging, and this is how much it's costing me per snow cone. In my head, I realize it's $1.40, but you do need to do a formula for this. So equals this cell minus sign this cell. H3 minus H10. Press enter. $1.40. Okay. Profit margin. Okay, that's the margin. That's how much of your profit you're getting. Yeah, so you're going to want to take cell H11 and divide it by H3. Okay, so H11 is this cell. So let me do this again. Equals this cell divided by this cell. Okay, this will give us our profit margin, and it says 0.69. Okay, you may have realized that it did change some of this to dollar signs automatically. If it didn't, we're going to adjust the dollar signs on this area in a second. So let's just go ahead and work our way down first. Total cost for supplies. Okay, equals, okay, this total cost is going to add up all of this stuff over here. Okay, this is all of our costs for our supplies. Okay, it's just a nice number to know. Equals, so I'm going to say sum, parenthesis, of all of these cells. So sum all of those cells. Add all of those cells up. Press enter. Okay, $69.87. Last number, a break-even point. So you have to ask yourself, okay, what point am I going to, how many snow cones must I sell to break even before I can start to make money, before I can break even? Okay, so I'm going to want to put in a formula here, real easy. Equals, what do you think? Exactly. H13, this, oops, wrong one. Yeah, that's right one. H13 divided by H, which one? 11. Okay, my total supplies divided by my total profit per snow cone. Okay, my break-even point is I need to sell 50 of these things. Okay, let's fix this area up a little bit. Let's change this to a dollar amount. So I'm going to come over here and change it to a dollar amount. Profit per snow cone, if it doesn't already have a dollar sign, add a dollar sign. Okay, now in this cell, I'm going to want to change this to actually be a percentage. Okay, profit margin is a percentage number. So I'm going to want to come over here and press format as a percent. And when you do that, it should remove all of the decimal places except for 2. So you should get 69.86. If you have more than 2 decimal places, go ahead and decrease those. This total cost for supplies should be a dollar sign. And break even point should just be a number, nothing else. So I'm going to get rid of all these decimal places. So decrease those all the way down. Okay, so it should look like this. Before you turn this in, if you click View, All Formulas, you can see that there are the formulas. Okay, so all you need to do is turn it in. So remember, you go to File, Download As, and we want as a PDF. Okay, at this screen, you need to decide which looks better, portrait or landscape.
Since it's a really wide spreadsheet, let's go with landscape. Keep it at that. And again, go to the formatting and turn off the grid lines. So press export. And then go to your assignment. Press submit. And you can drag it from here directly right to here. Choose file. And then press submit. So good job, you're all done. Make sure you get headphones put back nicely and find a typing game. Thanks.